Hi, everyone, and welcome to edition 7,300,473 of Puremix live stream during the COVID festivities. Today, I have the great pleasure of having my friend Stelios Phili as our guests. And
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Stelios. We're gonna do something absolutely insane. We're gonna make music live on camera with no net. You okay with that, Stelios, right? Because that's what you signed up for.
Yes, I'm good. Wait, that's
Okay.
what we're doing?
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not just talking.
Okay.
So little background information. I met Stelios year and a half ago.
Yeah, 28, sometime in 2018. Right?
Yeah, summer 2018. So year and a half, so almost 2 years ago. When he came up to my room, which to ask me if I'd be interested to mix the Lolo Zouai record. And I said yes. And since then, in the last year and a half, we just tried to calculate how many songs we did together. It looks like about 40 songs. There's a bunch more on the way. And so I thought that, because I know his workflow, and I thought it would be very interesting for you guys, the Pure Mixers and others, to see how modern production happens in Ableton Live and how we work together. Because the idea is that if we have the time today, Stelios is going to make a beat, yo, and then I'm going to mix the beat, yo. So if we get to the mixing part, hopefully we will. So that's it. So Stelios, nice room you have there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's based off of Flux.
Yes.
I modeled it. I modeled it after every detail in your room from 10 years ago.
Yeah. yeah. That rack is. I sold that rack. It's gone. I don't have that tape machine.
I bought
anymore.
it.
So
now
that's funny. Nice touch. Well, I'm in your room. This is where you work, and this is real. You can actually touch the things here, because Stelios works in the room that I've been broadcasting out of for the last millions of broadcasts. So for the broadcast for this show, I was wondering, what should we do? And I said, most of the time you start from something. Either somebody in the room sings a little something or has an idea or whatever. And since we don't have that human here, I said, you know what? Why don't we do it remix style? So I sent Stelios the stems for a Will Knox song that I produced 800 years ago, called "I Dance with Your Ghost," because there was the word dance in it. So I thought it might motivate. Actually, no, Stelios picked it. When I gave him 3, he said this one's up tempo like that. So I sent him the stems last night, and then and now you're gonna do something. What are you gonna do?
Thing. Well, it's kind of you guys will hear the song in a second, but it's kind of like a folk rock song. But so I thought that guitars could be very appropriate for it. And then dance is in the title. There's some ghost dancing involved, so has to be a dance beat. But tastefully done in a way that complements the folk style.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
But that sounds perfect. So I'm going to be the so in this broadcast, Stelios is going to be the producer, and then while Stelios is the producer, I'm going to be the annoying, like additional producer, which means I'll be on my phone in the back saying, yeah, man, yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Can you change that snap?
Yeah, that thing that goes like from time to time. That one, yeah, that's not good.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then I'll get full credit for the production.
Right. This is a work for hire.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I get it.
So while Stelios is producing, I'll be a pain in the ass, and then after that, I'll be mixing. He can be a pain in the ass if we get to the mixing, because creation takes time. So that's it. Rock it. So you work in Ableton Live, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I've been working in Ableton since 2013.
Pioneer.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Yes. It's becoming a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah. Should I share the screen? Should we dive in?
Yeah, let's dive in. Let's dive in.
Okay. This is where I actually am. That was real. That wasn't real, if you can believe it.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's all smoke and mirrors here. Okay. So we've got the song.
So what did you keep from my stems?
I kept just the vocals.
Okay.
And then the organ in case I forgot the chords.
Okay. Fair.
But it's muted. So I'll play you guys what Fab has here in the vocals. He has some beautifully mixed vocals from Will. And I've already just done like a very quick little outline of it just to give us some guidance when we're making the track.
You mean like the song structure?
The song structure, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I still hear violins, still taste the tonic and the gin. I still see
we've got
colors.
All the different parts here, verse, pre-chorus.
I dance with your ghost. An echo in my eyes holds on and let's go.
So we have all the different parts of the song. And I think the first step, since this is like we spoke about, has this sort of folk rock angle to it, would be to do some guitar.
Okay.
And I have a guitar here. I want to run by you just some different patterns, I guess.
Okay.
We can figure out.
Okay. We do this a lot with Stelios. Stelios will like text me a track and say, hey, what do you think? And I run back, I'm like, I dig this, I dig that. And I'll do the same. So we have this thing where we can, even though we're not in the same room for obvious reasons, or even when even when he's here and I'm upstairs, Stelios tends to text me stuff and I do the same. So it's really nice because music is a team sport for me. And it's a lot better to be able to, instead of going down a rabbit hole of, going in the wrong direction that you might regret later, it's nice to send somebody you trust to STEM and say, hey, what do you think of that? It works good.
Yeah, that's just such an important part of the process for me.
Absolutely.
It ensures you don't do anything bad.
Yeah.
Someone to say this is bad.
Yeah. Or you keep blaming someone else. And you told me to do this. It's nice.
Yeah. Right. No responsibility.
Yeah. Let's make sure this is a AC/DC style cover. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm gonna play the guitar here. Are you hearing the guitar acoustically end? Is there too much phasing? Okay, so
it's not phasing this crazy latency. So, but just mute yourself while you do the thing.
So I'm gonna show you some of the options. I'll play with the track. Probably out of time, but Ableton will fix that. All right, 1 second. Okay.
I still hear violins. I still hear violins. Still taste the tonic and the gin. I still see colors where the Kodachrome has thinned.
Wait, Mark, can you turn him back on? Okay.
That's one.
What? Yeah, that's cool.
We could also do, sorry.
Go ahead.
Could also do.
I still hear violins, still taste the tonic and the gin. I still see colors where the Kodachrome has thinned.
That's a lot more interesting to me.
Or
I dig that.
Or
I still hear violins, still taste the tonic.
If you could unmute me.
Yeah, the shuffle thing, not as much, but that middle part, like like
that.
I dig that a lot.
Okay.
Cool. And I wouldn't worry about muting the mic too much. It's okay. Okay.
Great.
I dig it a lot.
Great. Let me just think how I should play it. Maybe I do.
And so how
Or do you think I do, can you hear me?
yeah.
Should I do like playing it like this? Or more like chords? Like
No, I like the
or
I like the single note quality of it. It's got
yeah.
a special thing to it.
Okay.
How did you get this sound? What's the sound?
I haven't made a sound yet, so we're gonna record it. Okay, so okay.
Cool.
1 second, let me just see. What was I doing again?
Yeah.
Got it, okay. All right, so so yeah, generally what I do when I'm recording guitars is sometimes I make the sound first, but usually I like to figure out afterwards, and I'll just record the guitar
DI
and create like a stack of it to just thicken it up, and I'll pan one left, one right, one in the center. So we'll do that first. We'll do the verse.
I still hear violins,
Okay.
still taste the top.
Oh, here we go.
I still hear violins, still taste the tonic and the gin. I still hear violins, still taste the tonic and the gin. I still hear violins, still taste the tonic and the gin. I still hear violins, still taste the tonic and the gin.
All right, so we got that. Now,
This is the magic of a cycle recording.
yes. Now we make another couple tracks. Drag this guy out. Drag him here. Goodbye, goodbye. Then let me move you.
All right.
So I'll do this, and I'll make a group, put them in there, one left, one right. And then let's
still here.
Let me just get the right part of the loop.
There, out of sync.
Yes.
Ah, that's the one. So for those of you watching this, because we wanted you to have stereo sound, there's a slight latency between the screen and what you hear. And there's nothing we can do about that because the internet. But
actually, I wasn't so. Oh, that was just one. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I see. Yeah. I fucked up.
I still hear violins, still taste the tonic and the gin.
All right, so now let's decorate. Let's decorate this. Let's see what we can make. Got to go with the Old Faithful here. Just can't go wrong.
If people are wondering why they don't hear the click, it's because the way we route Ableton, the click is only in Stelios' headphones.
Still hear violins, still taste the tonic and the gin.
So that's just GTR on the group. The preset. Oh, this is my favorite, Ampex. Always a nice little friend here.
And
Fab, have we spoken about Sun-Baked Cassette?
Yes.
My favorite. Yes. And you go from there and you modify it. Whoops, why did I do that?
It's nice that it's not noisy.
Oh, yeah, we could fix that. All right, I'm gonna leave a little bit of the wow and flutter on it. So this guy just makes everything sound old and kind of kills all the highs. Actually, one second, I think I switched something off. Hold on. No, wait, why do I keep touching the transformer? One sec, guys. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna go to little Pro Q, cut out those lows. Goodbye. I usually do up to 100. I don't, maybe around here, maybe. And then cut out some of this twanginess. And then let's try, just to add even a little more texture, this new one called Cassette over here, which is kind of like a, yeah.
I wonder what he does. I wonder what he does.
Yeah, does it make things sound kind of cassette-y?
Yeah, it's, I don't know.
Oh. Play around just a little more. On. Kind of like that.
All right.
Tonic and the gin. I still hear violins, still taste the tonic and the gin.
Okay, now let's just build this man out.
I still hear violins, still taste the
tonic. Let me
tonic.
just quantize just a little bit, but keep it kind of natural-ish.
So Ableton doesn't have a quantize function, or you rather do it by hand?
Well, it does, but with this, I can tell it's going to look a little sloppy if I kind of,
right,
if I do the whole thing.
And you're doing it track by track.
Yeah.
I still hear violins, it's the tonic and the gin.
Let
Cool.
me just make sure I got this right. Let me just smoothen you guys. Change this to Complex Pro.
So why is that?
Well, I find that Complex Pro makes, when you turn the envelope down, it kind of adds a little more high end. And when it's on Complex, after Complex, it's like a little bit warmer. You can't control the envelope. So I find that with strings, for example, if you're pitching down strings or altering the strings in some way, and you warp it in Ableton, if you use Complex Pro, if you just use Complex, they're not as like high end or grating. And then if you use Complex Pro, strings, for example, can sound very grating and high end if you've pitch shifted them in some way. Okay. But then with guitar, it kind of depends on the sound you're going for, but with guitar, when you use Complex Pro, it kind of just adds different transients and textures to it. So that's why I like it.
That's cool. So you're tightening the takes.
Right, exactly.
Before you copy them for pocket purposes.
Yes.
Cool.
tight like a tiger. That's what they say in studios.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't go to studios.
No.
No.
So I'll be quick. I won't go too in.
So we have a question. Somebody was
Yes.
wondering, can you answer a question while you do this?
Yeah, I can. Okay. I can.
So somebody is it a good idea to put the guitar amp on the blend of the three sources as opposed to use a different amp on each one? What do you think?
You can kind of go either way on that. For this, I want this to be just a singular kind of sound. I'm not really looking to shake it up in any way. So that's why I'm putting it all in the group. Okay. But if I were trying to make some sort of blend, I could, and maybe we should do that. I have an idea for something that we could do with that.
I think this.
But yeah, and then at the same time, the other thing that informs it is just ease. I think that like right now, since we're just kind of like painting a little bit, I'm not really thinking too much about like what each individual one is going to sound like. I'm more just doing, I guess, broad strokes.
Sound design, yes.
Yeah. So afterwards, maybe we will find that one needs to be a different amp or something.
Right. Let's see how that sounds.
Maybe close enough, you think? What do you think?
Close enough for jazz.
Yeah. We could also, I also have an idea just for the hell of it. Let's just see, what is this one like if we pitch it? Wait, who did I just pitch? Oh, this guy needs to be, 1 second. What if we bring this one an octave lower? Let's just see. Now it's like a bass.
Still
That's kind of fun.
Violins.
Yeah.
Still taste the
but for the bass one, this sounds like more like an open, like not palm muting the bass. And then when you put complex on, it sounds like it's sort of palm muted.
Yeah.
Which is a little more, maybe more fitting for this.
Yeah, that works.
Chrome has thinned. I still hear violins.
I like it. Keep going. All right.
Yep.
All right. So now we go into the pre. Come on, my friend. Okay. All right. So this will probably just keep the same. Let me just get the guitar going again. I'm just going to record the guitar clean again, so I just don't have any latency. And for the guitar pattern of this one, just kind of continuing it, I think.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let me just turn the latency down. Okay. Ooh, there's quite a bit of latency. 1 second. Maybe hold on. You know what? I'm just going to turn this off. Ooh, maybe. Should I? Let me turn off Ampex for a sec.
Is it going through the bus?
But I think cassette and Ampex are kind of taking up a lot of juice, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just going to mute them for now, and then we'll put them back on later. All right.
Memories stuck in time. I dance with your Kodachrome has thinned. Where does that time go? Where did that fire go? Kodachrome has thinned. Where does that time go? Where did that
I'm just struggling with latency. 1 second.
Kodachrome has thinned. Where does that time go? Where did that fire go?
It's kind of hard to. 1 second. I'm going to get this. I just hear it quite latent. Hold on.
Oh. You know, it may be Zoom.
Kodachrome has thinned.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna mute the I'm gonna mute the input on this and then just do it like that real quick.
Okay.
Kodachrome has thinned. Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes? I replay memories, merry-go memories, stuck in time. I dance with your
That's the first
ghost.
take. And then let's do number 2. Yeah, okay, everything recorded so late, and I'm just gonna nudge you.
Yeah,
Okay.
the latency issue is probably because of what we're doing.
That's okay.
Okay.
I'm making it
Stuck
work.
in time.
Wrong section.
Oh,
I dance with memory. Kodachrome has thinned. Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes? I replay memories, merry-go memories,
do that one more time.
stuck in time. Where does that time go? Kodachrome has thinned. Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes?
No, it goes 1 second.
Kodachrome has thinned. Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes? I replay memories, merry-go memories, stuck in time. Where does that time go? Where did
you go here? I'm gonna move you. Okay, next one. I'll mute these for now.
Kodachrome has thinned. Kodachrome has thinned.
Oh my God.
Where does that time? Kodachrome has thinned. Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes? Kodachrome has thinned. Where does that time? Kodachrome has thinned. Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes? I replay memories.
Sorry guys, 1 second.
Kodachrome has thinned. Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes? I replay memories, merry-go memories, stuck in time. Where does that time go?
You here, shift these over. Okay, now let's do the same thing for these guys.
Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes?
Okay, I'm just going to quantize this a little bit. I also think it is good to just kind of do this quantization in bars, so it's not too robotic. You can just leave a little bit of the feel.
Right.
Hey, I didn't do so bad. All right.
Good. All right.
In there.
Yeah, this is the interface is good for that in Ableton, no question. It is. Yeah.
This is like cutting hair or something. I feel like I'm manicuring a waveform.
I haven't checked out how it's done in Luna, but because I don't really use that stuff, but I have to check it out.
Right. You only work with people who play on time too, you know?
Nah,
No,
it's not like that. Most of the time, the stuff gets to me pre-chewed.
That's true. All right. Okay. You guys are looking good. What about you? Okay. Let's put these on complex. Pro.
Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes? I replay memories,
Someone's a little sloppy right here.
I replay.
Who's rushing and who's dragging? Have you seen Whiplash, Fab?
Yeah, I have on the plane.
I love that movie.
It's very intense.
So intense. I would have a chair thrown at me right now.
There's a teacher at Berkeley, and what was his name? He was so intense, and the course was called Chord Scales in Improvisation, and I took it as a saxophone player because I was used to be a saxophone player. And Ed Tomasi was his name, and it was not that far from that movie. Like it was really like that, like really crazy intense.
Oh my God.
And I was doing a Eric Dolphy matchup, meaning like you had to learn Eric Dolphy solo and you have to play it in class.
Jesus.
And he was in my face like this close going, yeah, yeah, screaming at the top of his lung when I was doing it. It was pretty wild.
God.
Yeah. That's
Fab.
That was, yeah, well, nothing phases me now. Ed
Yeah.
Tomasi was his name. Amazing. That was an amazing class. Really intense harmony consideration and improvisation. And then I gave up on saxophone.
Once a sax man, always a sax man.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Stuck in time.
Okay, 1 second.
Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes? I replay memories, merry-go memories, stuck in time.
Oh, your marker is off.
Wrong.
Ghost.
Just get this part.
So when you're doing this, do you already have in your head what you're going to want a drum pattern to be?
Yeah, I am thinking about it. I think it's, in your original song, you made it have a 4 on the floor kind of feel. And I suspect you did that.
I did that because it was my one chance to do the everybody wants to rule the world pocket on the record without being laughed at. So and Will is very patient. And so we say, hey, how about we just like shamelessly do a full shuffle and everything. And we did, and that song has actually touched a lot of people. I used the song for
I dance with you.
Used it for what?
I used the song for a UA show at NAMM, and Will came on and sang it live.
Oh, wow.
Created the song live. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
And he's a wonderful writer. He's one of my favorite writers of all time. I was very lucky to work with him.
I dance with you.
This last guy.
Nice chord.
Thank you.
I like that chord. That chord is not in the original composition. That's something you added.
Yes.
I like it.
Thanks. I was going to see if you're going to say anything.
Of course I'm going to say something. You know how I feel about harmony.
I dance with you.
Okay. All right. We're almost there, guys. All right. So what we could do for this chorus now is maybe we want to have this, maybe we want to keep this one going, right? That kind of thing. But then also maybe we should maybe we open it up.
I don't know. It depends on the beat for me, but you're in charge.
Okay. And then my last question for you is, do you think we should do this chord, that little chord?
Love that chord.
Like, go.
I dance with your ghost.
I can't hear you. I can't hear.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
How about you make your drum beat and then we decide what shape the guitar takes on the chorus after that. Does that make sense?
Let's do that. I like that.
Okay.
Drums are fun anyway. Okay. So for the beat goes on.
So how do you function? Like where do you get your sounds? Do you have your own library?
I actually, well, I use my Splice library a lot.
Your own Splice library.
I do.
That always amuses me.
I like it. Because it's like a lot of the sounds that I use. And in that library specifically, I tried to make like the most basic version of each sound. Like what would be a really nice, like, what would be a great chair to have? Like what would be a great clap that just looks like a clap? That's kind of what I made that one for. But I'm just gonna go through Splice and just drag a couple sounds in. Not loops, but well, maybe I'll like finesse some like shaker loops or something like that. But
for those of you who didn't get it, Stelios has a producer reel on
Splice.
On Splice. Like he put his sounds up and he offered his sounds up to the world. He uses his own library. I love it.
Not all the time. I use other stuff too, but I often like find myself going there when if I'm just like feeling around. All right, so I made a drum rack. Let's get this is not in the Splice pack, but this is a nice kick. So
we're
getting
an echo in
we have a kick going. We'll get to the mixing stuff later. I'll just I'll just move.
Ghost.
Okay, and then I was picturing a rim. 1 second.
So you just do a search for sounds that you have in your mind, or you do a search for like random search to try and get happy accidents? How do you function?
A sound that I have in my mind specifically, like this. I picture being very not super thwacky, I guess, like just a good like not super high end, I guess, like it should feel, and not super like 808 style, not super techy either. Just so it feels like a processed naturalistic kind of rim, but maybe we'll layer it with a couple other things just to give it some texture.
Cool. Let's try it.
Well, while we're here, we might as well. I'm just gonna grab. I guess you can't hear the Splice stuff, but you'll hear what I pick in a second.
Yes.
Just going through. Can you see the screen that I'm looking at, or no?
No.
Okay.
Would you move it up? Oh,
it doesn't show.
It doesn't show, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm just picking a bunch of different rims. Yeah, when I have a specific sound in mind, I'll go through like find 5 or 10 sounds and kind of just think, oh, did I find it? Maybe. And then I start to mix and match.
So you're drag and dropping from slice into the sampler, into the drum rack in Ableton?
Exactly.
And then you're just going to key it in with your mouse as MIDI notes. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Oh, we'll get there. Hold on. Hey, these two work together well. This is mine. This is Murda Beats. So let's copy you over.
An echo in
Let's see what else we got here. This could be a cool other like a subdivision.
Yeah.
Ghost.
And we,
Ghost. An echo in
something
my
like that. And then okay, let's see what this one is. You could put this on every other, maybe.
Ghost.
This is kind of like a little more thuddy, this one.
Ghost. An echo in my eyes.
Maybe we make that one last one.
Ghost. An echo in my eyes holds on and let's go. Ghost. An echo in my eyes holds on and let's go.
Yeah, simplify it a little bit. Okay, now we should get, we should do, add some percussion. Get a little shaker going.
I like the thing. It sounds, it's got a little bit of a soft cell.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah,
yeah,
I like it. That's great.
So then with, for me with shakers, I don't mind like if you want like a live shaker sound, I think it's totally fine to just find a good loop, but then just to always make sure to just tweak it a little bit so it sounds like your own. It's hard to really make a shaker sound like naturalistic if you're just putting them all in. It doesn't sound quite right to me.
No.
Let's see if we can find a good.
So right now we can't hear it because of the joys of the internet, but Stelios
well,
is in the splice tab. Okay, there you go. Okay. What took you so long?
I know. Right. Should be fine. So this one I'm going to put on Complex Pro because I just, let's see. Oh, this is long. This is not what I expected. But actually, oh, this is good. Well, we can edit this. The more you have to edit it and fucked up it gets, probably the better. I'm just making this all triplets.
Right. The joys of 6/8.
Oh, I did that all wrong, didn't I? Hold on. Yes, I did. 1 second. Yes, I did. Hold on.
So I think you guys, I hope you guys noticed that Stelios didn't use a keyboard. It just drag and drop MIDI notes where he wants them in the grid. And that's one way of doing things. When we did that track with for Olivia, sometimes I would play things on the synth, and Stelios would cut it up. And sometimes it would just drag and drop notes into the timeline, and sometimes I would play MIDI and would have the MIDI play back. So there are no real rules, which is.
So I've just taken this one little part that I've made.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to deal with the fact that there's no rules for the engineer types.
And now we're gonna, now to me, oops, oh my God.
Do not do that.
Okay, thank God. Right now, the shakers are just kind of like standing out a little too much and are too high end. So I want to just make them feel a little more tucked into the mix. And I'm going to use again my sung baked cassette, even though it makes everything latent.
Yes. And so
now it sounds like all muted. What were you gonna say?
So you said tuck it into the mix, but you know you in most situations you're gonna send this stuff out to mix. So how obsessive do you get about the mix and making it sound good, and why?
Well, I guess when I say tucking it in the mix, for me, the color of the sound is just as important to clarify beforehand, because I guess the difference between, let's say, even just this here and this is significant. So like if I sent this in, I would expect it to sound like that. I wouldn't expect someone to do this and totally change the color of it on the engineering end.
Right.
Unless the idea that I made was like half baked and they had to sort of finish it, then I would expect them to kind of go all out.
Right.
So now I'm going to use this volume shaper here from Exifer, I think, and I'm just going to give it a little pump. And before, when I was saying tuck it into the mix, like this just feels, when the hat's like this, to me, it feels like too like house music loopy. It doesn't sound like organic or textury. And when you add just a little grit to it, the rhythm is more felt than heard.
Yep.
And it's less obvious. Like I think
also, it's also more modern sounding to me.
Yes. And I think with this kind of track, you don't want to make it feel like, we want to try to make this feel like this could have actually been the song, as opposed to like a dance remix or something. So I think as much as we can add texture to all the elements, that's what's going to make it feel like we're building off his voice, as opposed to taking his voice and putting it somewhere it doesn't belong. All right. Now
look at him.
Some
Auto
pan.
Ghost. An echo in my eyes holds on.
Just a little movement.
Ghost. An echo in my
and then what else should we do? Let's put the cassette on it as well. Let's just make this thing sound some kind of way.
Ghost. An echo in my eyes holds on and lets go.
I like that. Okay. Now I'm kind of at the point where I feel that, like, obviously these aren't all the drums, but I kind of feel that there's somewhat of a vibe going. And now I kind of want to just dress them up a little more. So, I don't need to do that. I'm going to put this compressor, this SSL, not this one, this guy, on the bus, on the sum. Yep. And I'm just going to pick let's try, there's the Drake master bus. That's definitely what he used now. But for me, I really don't think it's a problem to just use presets and then adjust from there, especially if you're not as educated in it as Fab. I did watch a parallel compression video of his yesterday. It was great.
That's a good one.
Okay, so now I'm gonna bump the send up.
Ghost.
And if I really mess up here, Fab's just gonna fix it when he mixes it. He's probably gonna delete this stem.
No.
Ghost.
Okay, so now we're at the point where let's just make this kick another Fab lesson to me. Who knew we couldn't hear below 27 hertz? I thought it was 20, but Fab was like, no, shooting or more. And we do this because it makes it thick.
Yep, it
Fat
does.
kick.
Ghost. An echo.
Okay, let's just fix the volumes of a couple things.
Ghost. An echo in my eyes holds on and lets go. Play, pause, rewind, a dance with your...
Okay.
For those of you who didn't get what just happened, is Stelios put a high pass filter on the kick sample only.
An echo in my eyes holds on and lets
I feel like we have enough to do the guitars and then come back
absolutely.
here to this drum part.
Yeah.
And then now this will be good because we can actually see what the drums tell us to do.
Right. Where do you envision your drums coming in?
I feel we're gonna need like maybe a light kick in the pre, and then all of the juice in the chorus.
Yeah,
classic. All right, let's see how we're doing latency wise. Actually, it doesn't feel so bad right now. Okay, let's try this. Let's see.
Memories, merry-go memories, stuck in time.
So I'm gonna try a couple things and then we'll just like think about how the rhythm should go. I think we'll maybe have a layer of this, maybe, or we're just doing something like, or something more intense. Let's just see.
I dance with your ghost. An echo in my
actually, I kind of hear open maybe.
On and let's go. Play, pause, rewind. I dance with your ghost. An echo in my eyes holds on and let's go.
Like open.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I dance with your ghost. An echo in my eyes holds on and let's go. Play, pause, rewind. I dance with your ghost. An echo in my eyes holds on and let's go. Play,
oh, we got our 3. Wow, I did not check if that was peaking, and I don't think it did. Maybe it did.
You're on the edge, but it's good.
I'm on the edge. Living on the edge, Fab.
That's the story of my life. Look, I'm on the edge. All right. So you're going to keep the same paradigm. Are you going to use the same amp?
For now, yes. For now, yes, but I'm going to probably change it. I just want to see how it sounds. Well, I'm probably going to keep the same amp and then do another layer over it, maybe. Let's just see.
An echo in my eyes holds on and let's go. Play, pause, rewind. A dance with
Hey, I like that. What do you think? Okay.
I love it too.
Okay, so now let me just do another. Let me just think of another part, maybe.
An echo in my eyes holds on and let's go. Play, pause, rewind. A dance with your...
Maybe we play this. Maybe we have like one note kind of ringing throughout.
Yeah.
Add some suspensions and stuff. That one?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Okay.
I dance with your ghost. An echo in my eyes holds on and let's go.
other thing that we should do here is just have some fun with pitching things as well. So we should take, let's do this note, just the octave up, and then we'll pitch that down with Ableton and just kind of create just a little bit of a weirder texture.
Okay.
Oh, you don't want to copy over that one.
Stuck in time, I dance with your ghost, an echo in my eyes holds on. Let's go. Play, pause, rewind, I dance with your
Okay, so we got this high boy
ghost.
that I should put on time. Hold on. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time warping this, but just a little bit. Just needs a little love. Blah, blah, blah. This goes here. I think I have enough to copy and paste that. Oh, let's just do one more. No, I have enough. All right, so this is the high guy here. Regular high one. Wait. Complex Pro them. And let's see what they sound like an octave down. Maybe it's just some cool. Let's try Complex Pro. It's kind of like this dulled sort of sound. And then here. Kind of some weird formants that sound kind of cool to me. And then this one, just put this a little more in time.
Cool.
Okay, so we'll do this guy left, right, and then we'll do the normal one in the center. Just get that one.
I think you just lost one.
Okay.
Cool.
So we've got these guys. These in the group. Actually kind of sounds good, just clean, but let's just see what the... Kind of sounded interesting clean, right?
Yeah. Actually, I'm curious.
Yeah?
I'm curious what it would sound like with a phaser or something. Hold on, I'm supposed to say that while looking at Instagram on my phone. Yo, okay. Dude, that's cool, man. What's that thing that goes whoosh, whoosh?
Oh, you're talking about a phaser?
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's right, a phaser.
Oh, what about this one? This is a fun one. I put you onto this one.
Yep.
It's a Germans.
Yeah, it's a called phaser. Actually, they're Polish.
Oh.
I love this.
How did the Polish sound?
I don't know.
Is it Polish? Okay. This one, do you know... Do you know what this is reference to? Butter Notes After All?
No.
It's when Miles Davis, what did he say? Told Herbie Hancock misheard Miles Davis. Miles Davis said, "Don't play the butter notes." That's what he thought he heard.
Uh-huh.
And I think he said, "Don't play the black notes," something like that. But Herbie heard butter notes, and I think he thought that meant to exclude the third from his playing. or something like that. And he totally reinvented his way of playing because of that. Isn't that hilarious, right?
Yeah, I really dug what he did to the high guitar.
Oh, this thing, yes. Yeah.
An echo in my eyes holds on and let's go.
Cool. Now we can add just a little. We should add some reverb to this guy.
It was great. So when I get sessions from Stelios, I also get his buses. He prints his buses, and so I open it in Pro Tools, and then I have the choice of using the same reverb as him or not.
We can put a little reverb on this one too. I fucked it up a little bit. I'm just gonna do a lot less.
An echo in my eyes holds on and let's go.
Okay, now I think we can, we may do more guitar parts for this section. We're gonna probably do more drum stuff, but for now, I think we should just go to the bass in this section.
Absolutely.
So for the bass, we should go to Omnisphere, my dear friend. Okay.
Hi, Omnisphere. This thing is so powerful.
I know. Let's look for a Moog, because I don't have the one at the studio.
Yes. Usually Stelios works out of this room, and right here there's a Sub Phili, and right here there's a Model D, and a Juno and a Prophet.
So for this one, let me just remind myself what the notes were. So for this one, I think the bass for this is just pretty straightforward. We should just do the triplets and then go from there. Just try to match the.
That sounds like a Moog.
I'm gonna worry about the sound in a second. Let me just get all the notes. This is not what it's gonna sound like. We're gonna finesse it. Four, five, six. Okay, now let's just hone in on the sound. It's too womp womp. So we're gonna. That sounds pretty good already. I also really like the Moog. Filter here. This guy. Now it's like we have a Moog. So now I'm gonna just bring the drive up. Whoa. Okay, now let's grab our little. Where do we have that LFO? Or okay.
On the hat.
So yeah, so we're gonna grab the volume. Sorry, we're gonna grab the sidechain thing, and we're gonna put that on the bass as well, but less intense. We don't want it dipping too much. Gotta change that sooner. Oh, you know what? I have to put this on. triplet. I've got it. Okay. So, no, let me do quarter notes. Sounds good. Just a little less bump. Move this out here. Okay, now let's grab this, again, the same volume shaper or sidechainer device, and put that on all the guitars as well. We might automate it just for the chorus. Cool, we kind of have some stuff going on here now.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's start to, maybe we'll do more with the chorus, but for now I think let's just try to like build up to it.
Yep.
So I'm gonna take the kick from here, and let's
So when you send me stems,
yeah,
and you want to send me just the kick, how do you do that?
I extract the stem. We could do that now.
No, finish your workflow, but
That's okay.
I just wanted people to see the extract the stem workflow in Ableton.
I just extracted him. Now he's here.
Yeah.
But now I have to remember to put it the same volume as the rack originally was. Okay. So we've got this low pass. So I think the kick can be quite subtle in the pre. Again,
so you added a filter to the kick stem.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes? I replay memories, merry-go memories.
Okay, and then for this part, I think that, and again for the chorus too, I think we should now add a pad to give you a little more juice for the mids. Let's do that. Kind of like something warm and, again, not very noticeable, like a Juno maybe. Let's see what our good friend Omnisphere has.
I think you guys, it's important for you guys for me to point out the speed of execution is what allows Stelios to go through so much music so fast without a MIDI keyboard, which puzzles me.
We're gonna make this sound.
That sounds like a Jupiter, actually.
And no, we're gonna fix the sound. Let me just get the chords down.
Where does that time go?
Diminished.
Time go. Where did
And we're gonna fix the
something moved. Yeah.
Where does that time go? Where did that fire go?
The chord is E.
Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from you?
Go back here.
I replay memories, merry-go memories, stuck in.
Then it goes to B. Wait.
No, you need that E. You need that E. That E.
I replay memories, merry-go memories, stuck in time.
This is B here. Yeah. Oh. And then the other diminished chord.
I dance with your.
Okay. So now let's fine tune this Juno. It's way too. Let's hear this other one here. Oh, this is better. So right now it's a little too amorphous, and I think we need to just reel it in. So we're gonna bring down the release and take off this echo and put our own effects on it.
Where does that time go? Where did that fire go?
Oh, you know what? Let's fix the. Let's fix this. 1 sec. Make it a little less primitive.
Changing the inversion of the chord.
Yeah, I mean.
Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes? Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes? I replay memories, merry-go memories, stuck in time. I dance with your.
Yeah.
Cool.
A little less blocky. Okay, so now we have the raw Juno, and with this one, I think we can also just add a little texture to it. So let's just make it fit in the mix a little better. Cut out the lows, maybe to like 100. And then just thin it out some more with this, my old friend.
Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes? I replay memories.
Cool. And then another thing that I like to do sometimes is, so we're gonna double this here. Then put, oh my God.
Ableton didn't like that.
No, let me bring it back.
Okay. Happens to the best.
What if we might have lost all our, well, I think I was saving. I think we might have lost some of our presets, but let's see.
It's okay. All right. So did everybody get the extract stem from the drum rack? Because that is so good. Because say if you're working in Pro Tools, like some people do, and you have a drum rack or whatever you use, you know, battery or something, and you have all the MIDI goes to this one plugin, and you're too lazy to set up the multi-output at the beginning. Then when it's time to send your stems to someone, you suffer. Or it's time to mix your song, it's difficult. So how are you doing? We good?
Yeah, I have it back, but let's just see. I might have to redo the sound. 1 second. It won't take long. Yeah, I have to redo it. But that's saved.
We don't hear you anymore.
You can hear me.
No, we don't hear you need to reconnect to listen to. Log in and start transmission.
Yep.
And hit it.
Yeah.
No.
Nice. No?
It's not working. So hold on. Yes.
It's working. Okay, we're gonna redo what we did real quick. Hello, Omnisphere. Okay, so what we did was we took this off,
Mm-hmm.
and then we made the release quite low. Let's see if the other stuff's saved. Oh, I'm worried. Nope.
Oh,
I remember what we did. It won't take long. It was called Nice Moog.
That's what they call. That's what they call me.
All right, I'll take that for now. Let's just keep it moving. Okay. So to avoid this crashing, I'm not going to try to copy it again. I'm just going to resample it in Ableton. And what I want to do is I'm going to make this the octave up, record it.
So for those of you who don't know what resample is, it's basically commit in Ableton language.
Okay. Now we're going to pitch this down to the octave it was before. That's what just complex, not complex pro. Sounds just a little grainier, which I like.
I like it too.
Maybe we'll just mute this one. We've committed.
We're committed.
Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes?
Maybe we have both.
Where does that time go? Where did that fire go?
Okay, and then we should do the same thing for the chorus as well. We should just have that texture in there.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just remember what the chords were. All right, that was. Okay, 1 second. Gotta change one of them. Sorry, let me just remember what it was.
D major.
We could just use. Oh, we have them all. Okay. So we're going to take these two, and then these two. And then just make this one a little shorter. Hey. I'm not copying and pasting because that was causing problems before.
I know. Computers like to crash when they're on the internet.
Okay. Oh, I didn't copy that last part.
I used Luna for about 2 weeks every day. Flawless. I go on the live stream for the night of the release. Crashes. Yeah.
That's how it works.
That's because we are taxing our machines. You do all your work on a laptop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. Everything's done on a MacBook Pro. You just got a 16-inch. Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I just feel that they never fixed the keyboard. They fixed it enough. It's better than the other one, which was like typing on paper. But
right.
This one, I just don't understand why the Mac from 2014 has a better keyboard. They should just revert. Right. I don't mind if this thing is a little chunky, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with a little curves.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got you. So now, let's see.
I like the tone of the pad, pitch down. It's cool.
Thanks.
So somebody is asking or making a comment. Why didn't you use freeze or flatten in Ableton to print the pad?
I don't think I had any specific logic to it. Sometimes I do freeze, but sometimes, oh, there's another reason why. Sometimes when you're you have a lot of plugins on it, and you freeze it, sometimes it just like crashes as you commit the freeze. So for the sake of this,
yeah, I've had that happen quite a bit.
So I don't lose you guys again. But freezing and flattening is equally. Oh, and here's the other reason why. Sorry, I totally forgot. Sometimes freezing and flattening takes obscenely long for no reason. So if you just record it, it's a lot faster. I don't know why. Like sometimes even if I have something that's, you know, this many bars, and I try to freeze it, it just takes long.
That's because you use a lot of, you layer plugins a lot, and
yes.
They have to talk to each other. They have to hang out. They have to ask about the family. How's the COVID treating them? That takes time.
Yes, it does.
And then they go, hey, should we freeze? And then one says, I don't like to freeze, you know, and then they crash. Yeah.
So yes, that's what I was running into. That's why I instinctually did not think to freeze or commit. But if let's say I had a whole session,
yes,
it wasn't just one track, I'm taking the gamble.
Right.
I'm freezing them up.
An echo in my eyes holds on and let's go.
Something is wrong. Something is playing the wrong thing. Hold on. Wait. Not playing the wrong thing, but sounding weird. 1 second.
The random pad.
No, it's... Did the God phaser not save?
It's saved.
The setting I had though. Oh, I made it just less wet. Okay. Like I did it half. Cool, and then that chord is E over here, ghost.
Ghost. I replay.
That's the E, right?
Yeah.
Ghost.
Oh, E.
I'd be very curious to see how you would
Ghost.
Yep.
Play, pause, rewind, dance with your ghost.
We'll tweak that a little more. What were we gonna say about that?
I'd like to see so let's we can't do a whole production like this, and it's already been an hour and a half.
This is kind of enough for you to mix, maybe, right? I mean, there's
but
more.
I want you to do and I want you to show us how you would think about the intro and bringing things in and building all the way to that chorus, and maybe do some sort of a chorus intro kind of thing. I think that's the most interesting thing, is the music part of it.
Okay. We just label.
Thanks for naming things.
Yeah, now we're at the point. So before we were like, we were just rocking out. So we weren't really thinking too much about labeling this, but now we have rules. Now we can label things.
Yes, I'm grateful for the labels.
Oh, where's my bass? Where did I put that? Oh.
Here she is.
This was, what was this one? Oh yeah, the synth. Okay. That's synth too. And then I like to just label it drums first, then bass, then synth, then guitar, then vocals at the top. Just to visualize it a little better. Okay.
All right. So how would you start this song?
I still hear violins, still taste the tonic and the gin. I still see colours where the Kodachrome has thinned. Where does that time go? Where did that fire go?
Let me think 1 second. Just want to do one more thing here. I just want to filter these synths during the pre.
So you're going to filter the bus.
Yeah, the whole thing here.
Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes?
Okay, so as for how I should start it.
I still hear violins.
Two. Okay, gotta think of something interesting.
I still hear violins.
Maybe we do something where let's just mess around and see what we can come up with. So let's try putting when in doubt, use Valhalla. Let's try it just like reverbing everything like crazy. And then record that. Okay. I'm gonna undo this just for now.
I still hear violins.
Now we've got this texture.
So for those of you who didn't catch,
I'm just reversing it now.
Stelios temporarily cut the guitar for a couple beats and used it as a throw into a long reverb. Now use the reverb, copy paste it, and flip.
Reversed it. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll just pick a part of it. This is not quite right yet. Hold on. Let's switch it up. Let's just see what let's just experiment. Thin it out. Okay, the guitars need, oh, I have to put the juice back on. There we go.
I still hear.
Okay.
I think that the end of that climb was cool. The one you cut up.
It's the tonic.
Yeah, that got really intense.
I still hear violins.
You know what? It could be cool to to do a throw of each chord and then have that be like a pad that's underneath it.
Ah.
I still hear
So
violin.
now we do this next chord. Sorry, this is so crude doing it like this, but who cares? Aren't you worried I'm just going to delete everything?
Nope. But I would love you to hit Command S from time to time, though.
Okay. Okay.
So you guys who are watching, you can see that it's not about. I mean, the speed is insane, and that's great. But really, what's important is to keep your mind open and to let the music inspire you to do crazy things. You know, that's what matters, is the ideas. Where are you at? Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm not recording it because
You didn't resample.
Because I'm dumb. Okay, hold on. And this is adding some low end that kind of solves our problem.
Yeah.
Well, we hadn't gotten to that problem yet, but the problem is that
but
there was no beef at the bottom.
Yep. So can we hear a little bit what that sounds like with 3 chords?
Yes.
I still hear violins, still taste the tonic.
Ooh.
Nice.
I think it's cool.
Yeah,
right,
it's great.
So we got.
You can copy the second chord back.
Oh yeah, it's just.
You're good for the whole verse.
Great.
Are you missing one chord?
Yeah, there's just this last guy.
This is chord 2. Da, da, do, da, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's great. I love it.
Hello, ambiance. This one we can reverse. So it's...
Reverse the reverse?
Yeah. I forgot to reverse that one.
Oh, cool. Somebody's asking if you're using Sugar on any tracks.
No, I'm not yet, but you know what? I was about to. It's a great plugin. You should get it. We're going to use that on the bass.
Right.
I love it on the bass.
If you were not going to do it, I was going to do it. So
no, I was about to do it. Well, you might redo what I do, I guess.
No, I won't redo anything.
So for the bass, this is a fat bass. So also we want to thin this out as well before we put the juice on. Fab, do you know, is there really a big difference between doing brick wall and 96?
No, I can't even.
So I could just brick wall this. It's totally fine. Doesn't sound
weird.
I
haven't, nothing's ever disgusted me before.
I'm putting drive on. Maybe not. Let's see what the Warren band does.
I love drive.
That sounds nice. Subtle. Okay. I do this. This is my little cheat code. This is the 4 Fab.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just do it. I like to put Saturn on the bus.
Rich Keller, who's one of the best hip hop producer in the last 20 years, hip hop mixers in the last 20 years. He also produces, but mostly mixer. We had a plugin geek out on your last week or the week before, I forget.
Yeah.
Time flies, and he did the exact same thing. He put Saturn on his mix bus, so you are vindicated.
Yes. Okay. So I'm putting on Faster Master, which is, it basically adds a lot of, it's kind of like, I guess it's sugar-esque, but it's not, but it's kind of more confusing. And
yes, also sugar, the only distortion in sugar is the drive.
This one, I couldn't really explain much to you other than it seems like it's taking these bands that you can adjust and adding drive to them.
Yep.
And just makes everything louder, and you feel good. You feel cocky after you have it on.
Let's hear it.
So let's do before. This is just for your enjoyment before you start mixing it or before you send it to mix. Like you kind of want to see what it would sound like with a little sauce on it. So nothing. Put the juice on. Afterwards, you feel like you're the man. Okay, everything is just quite louder than the vocal now, so I'm just going to bring everything down because I haven't really committed to the sound that I put on my master, so I'm fine to just drag the volume down and everything. I know sometimes, do you advise against that, Fab, sometimes?
Nope.
Okay. Just brought everything down 3. An echo in my eyes holds on. I'm gonna raise all the stems a little more.
And we have some questions coming in.
Yes.
Question: would you add automation before sending to be mixed, or will you leave it for the mixing stage?
Automation of what?
Whatever.
Anything?
Yeah.
For filters, I would, because I would consider filters to be just very much a part of the production. If I filtered a synth a certain way, I definitely want to keep it like that. For things that I feel I want to have more for effects that I want the mixer to have full flexibility on, I'm going to just put it in a send and then let them have fun with it.
Yeah. I mean, often you send me dry and wet too.
Yes.
So that way I can't complain. I have everything I need. Right. It gets really tricky though when the artist gets used of your mix in used to your mix in Ableton, and you send it to me with a bunch of stuff it's very difficult to move from DAW to DAW. And so sometimes it takes me a while to recreate what you had and try and make it better.
Hey, can I show decibel while we're on this topic?
Yeah.
Does everyone know what it is yet or no?
Some people know what it is, but show it.
Let me just see where we're at with this thing. I also just don't want it to peak in the master, so let me just look at that. 1 second.
Ghost.
Let me just do a quick, like very rough mix of this really quick. Just like fix the levels a bit more. Actually, I can just make everything a little louder. It's not peaking over here.
An echo in my eyes holds on and let's go.
All right, I'm happy with that for now. So now Fab has this plugin called Decibel. It's a metering.
It's in beta, but it's coming no later than very soon.
I like it very much. It's a metering plugin, and compared to the other ones I've used, well, I haven't really used the others because I've never quite figured them out. But Fab's is very intelligible. So I'm putting it on the master here. Oop, put it over here so you can hear it or see it. And maybe he should explain it, but I'll do my primitive explanation.
Yeah, I want to hear how you perceive it. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Where did that fire
So we're running it right now.
From your eyes, I replay memories.
Low latency, but
merry-go memories stuck in time. I dance with your ghost, an echo in my eyes holds on and let's go. Play, pause, rewind. I dance with your ghost.
Hey, so Fab. So from what Fab has told me, so okay, let's say I'm sending this to an artist. I'm not gonna put it at. I'm not gonna send them 14 LUFS. I'm gonna make this thing a little louder, so it's maybe -12 or something, because people like to blast it quite loud. And from what I understand for Fab, if you're sending him a track that is like -10 LUFS, it's gonna make it very hard for him to match the loudness, but for it to still have the same girth at the bottom.
Yeah, it basically at 12, I still have room to function. At 11,
right.
My lunch got stolen by somebody. At 10, it's hell.
Yes.
And so if you show the interface, you have a target, and you can set your target. You can keep in mind what your target is. Here's your target's 12, and you can also see your dynamic range. So in Stelios's color scheme, the red is the level, and in the super meter, and which is the semicircle thing, and then the gray is the silver is the dynamic range. And so you can see, because you could be at -12, but it can be completely crushed. That's one thing, but he's using full 12 dBs of dynamic range, and that allows me to take his work and keep it at the same level and just do what I want to do with it. Sometimes Stelios mixes his own stuff and sends it out without going through me or through another mixer. And so this tool allows him to know how loud he is and if he's competitive with the release. So say if you send this to your A&R or to your creative director and ad agency at -12, then when they compare it to something on YouTube or on Spotify, you're a little bit louder. So they're not going to tell you that you're not very loud, but you're not shooting yourself in the foot.
It's a sweet spot.
Exactly.
And then the other rule of thumb that Fab told me is that oh no, what did I do? Did I do something?
No.
No, this just is adjusting. Okay. This TrueDyn, Fab said that when it's at 10, that means you're doing a good job and you have a good amount of dynamic range.
Yeah. I mean, if you had 16, you'd be more like the Beatles, but the Beatles I only had a 10-year career. So,
hey,
just saying.
Yeah.
In this day and age, at 10 to 12 dBs of TrueDyn dynamic range, you're in very good shape. Compared to, say, your average hip hop record, which is now, or the new pop records, except for Lolo because we're civilized, but the new pop records, they're like, I see them peak at like 7, 6 dBs of range. And so that's why the bass drum's this big and the bass feels like it's behind and it just doesn't hit very hard. It's because it's impossible at those levels. Look at that.
Yeah. Well, before we get here, I'm not sure how much maybe Fab is. I feel like you've talked about this to your audience as much as you've talked to it about me. But the reason why I guess we have to be so sensitive about the LUFS is that the streaming services, Spotify, YouTube, not not Apple Music.
Not Apple Music.
Not Apple
Actually,
Music.
Apple Music does it too, but the preference is off by default. So
Right.
artists, yeah.
So all of the streaming services, I guess minus Apple Music, will lower your volume, will lower the volume of the track to be always around 14 LUFS. YouTube, it's 16 LUFS. So with this plugin, you can set your target.
Actually, YouTube changed again. They're now 14.
Oh, now they're 14. Okay.
Yeah.
So now it's the same as, so if I were to send in this track and my track was like loud as hell, like feel like at -10 and I'm feeling like the man, and I send it in, they shrink it down to be the same level as all the other tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bass is totally lobbed off in that process.
Yep.
So that's why I'm more than ever, now that he has this, now that I have this tool, I can be very sensitive about that stuff.
Also, it shows you, maybe less interesting for you since you do mostly production, but for mixers and for mastering engineers, it's very interesting to see how the music behaves and what makes music take a lot of room and what doesn't, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a very good educational tool, which will come out, you know, as soon as it's done. It's done. You're using it. I'm using it. If you're a Puremix subscriber, you'll be able to get on the beta very soon. And it will be available, you know, like all the process plugins that we're working on, they'll be available for purchase if you're not a Puremix subscriber. Yeah, I can't work without it. Actually, I have it right here on my iPad at all times. So I always look at it all day long. It's really, really great. So there's another question.
Yes.
Why VSTs and not AU?
You know, I asked Fab this and he said there's no difference.
No difference.
But it depends. I will gravitate towards using a VST for like a friend once said to me, they sound toys sound better as VSTs. I don't know if that's true or not. Fab says no.
Yeah. You could hear a difference between AEX DSP.
Okay.
Or you could hear a difference between the native version and the UAD version of a plugin. But there's no way you can hear a difference between VST and AU.
How about this? Is there a difference in processing speed or power?
No, because it's the same algorithms. They're wrapped with a different header.
Okay.
There's a piece of software that takes your code and shoots it out for all the standards.
Right.
And so the thing is that DAWs have different gain stages, you know? So if somebody's going to use, I mean, in Ableton, you could use either VST or AU. I'm pretty positive that if you put two tracks, one with the VST plugin and one with the AU plugin, you copy paste them, the levels are the same, the settings are the same, and you flick the phase on one, it'll go away. But I can't imagine there'd be a difference because I know now how they are wrapped and nobody touches the algorithm. So unless the VST engine is different, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
But
DSP is different because you have to recode. You have to recode your DSP code instead of being native. You have to adapt it to either the chart chips or the TI chips for AX DSP, and that's, for lack of a better word, a bitch.
Right.
So.
So now this Pro L2. So what I'm doing here is just the kind of like the feel good about it when you listen back to it, like quick little master, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you make it loud enough so that they don't complain.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So this one, I just put it up. I bumped up the gain too, so that decibel will read as -12.
That works.
It should work like that.
Yes. So I have a question for you.
Yes.
From George T.
Yes.
I would love to hear some tips for writer's block or creativity block from a guy like Stelios. What do you do when you're stuck, where you don't have inspiration, where you no longer come up with those ideas of reversing the reverb? or you're stuck on a song? Does that happen?
I think there's, you know what, it used to happen more to me, but I guess it's actually very much a thing that you can avoid. It's to me, that's very much it's a skill that you develop over time. And I think when I was starting off, it happened a lot, but I think you can create, we'll talk about it now. I think you can kind of create a little bit of a checklist for yourself of things to do when you feel stuck. So number one, think about how you started the track. Let's say you're making a track, and should I be talking about production, writing, all three, both?
It's writer's block. Yeah, inspiration in general.
So sometimes if you're not really sure what to play, okay, let me start over. I think that sometimes the trickiest part of the song can be, what are the chords? What are the melody? What is this? What should I make? What am I doing? And I think the quickest way to avoid that question is to maybe just start with a drum loop that you create and just sort of zone out and get lost in the drum sounds that you're doing and create a loop for yourself to jam over. I think that's like a quick thing where you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to make. Let the drums kind of inform what you should do. With this song, we had a different thing informing us. That was the vocal. So the vocal was saying, you do guitar. That's what the vocal is telling me. And then based on that, I thought to myself, okay, we need the drums to be, this can't just be a folk song. The drums need to be doing something different. So everything kind of like ricochets off the other thing once you have a little foundation for yourself. So drums is one way to kind of like break free of that. The other way, another thing that you could do is actually a lot of the trick is in drums in some way, is to think, do I have the right pocket? You know, right now our ears are so tuned to doing things in halftime for trap songs or just hip hop stuff or whatever. But you know, like if something is 135 BPM, 140, 150, you might think, oh, this has to just be halftime. And you can kind of put yourself in a box like that. So I find that sometimes the best way to do it, like you just think, what if it's double time? What if it's not, or what if it's regular time? If it's not halftime? Then other ways that you can get inspired are just kind of thinking about the track in terms of thinking about a stem, let's say, in every sort of possibility. What does it sound like pitched down? What does it sound like a fifth down? What does it sound like if I put complex pro on and I move it down a whole octave and I reverse it like we did over here? Just kind of thinking, what does it sound like if I warp it and move it up 5 steps? Like, what if so you kind of just think about, how can I twist and pull the sound in whatever way so that maybe that inspires me a little more. Let's say I set out to do, let's say I was just felt stuck on my chord progression. I might just reverse what I had recorded and think about that. Or I might slow it down in half. And when you do that, these kind of warping things will help hit your head out of what you thought the song is supposed to be.
Right. Do you ever reference and listen to other music while in session?
Yes. It depends. So sometimes I find that sometimes references can put you in a box and you can get stuck chasing a reference, which can be bad. But other times, if you, instead of referencing a specific song for the song to be like, I always find it very helpful to reference specific elements in certain songs. So I might think back to a Blink-182 song that had a nice like like a nice hat and a rim, and I think, ooh, what did that sound like? And I go back to that. Or I might think, well, you know what? What was that analog bass tone that Giorgio was using in the 70s? And I'll go back and think, just try to see what those tones were. Or I'll think, you know, I might be like, what, let's say I'm doing like even for this song, like let's say we didn't want to try a Moog bass and we wanted to try an 808 bass. And this is like a folk song. You don't really think about it as having 808s, for example. You might think, let me listen to like something from DaBaby and see how they're doing the bass and how it's like all like boom, boop, 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 like all pitched up and stuff and doing weird things. So I think it is helpful as you're going, when you notice something's happening and you want to hone in on it, you think, oh, what song did I like that had a great rim sound? Or, you know what, this song has sort of like a cha-cha groove. What does a cha-cha groove feel like again? And you go back and remind yourself. Or you think, or sometimes you might think, well, why should I do Four on the Floor? Should I do Halftime? Should I do, and you kind of think, what other songs have you heard that are in the realm of your song? And how did those songs approach the drums, the feel, everything? How did they approach it to make it groove and to make the song move? And that could provide a little key.
Yeah, I think that, so because I'm a, you know, as you know, I'm a student of this stuff. I'm fascinated, very fascinating. Basically what Stelios just said is that you have a library of colors and music in your head from listening to music and being passionate. And so that is your input. And making music is your output. And as much input as you take, as much a sustained output you can have, which is what works for me. You know, when I'm in a situation where I'm mixing the same kind of music, you know, for 3 weeks and being completely hold in on that, and then I don't listen to anything else, I don't have time, and last thing I want to do after a 12-hour mix session is put music on when I get home, which pisses everybody off here, by the way. Then let's put some music on. I'm like, no, let's not put any music on. And then at the end of the 3 weeks, I'm supposed to you know, make some music and create. And the only thing that comes out of me is what I've been. Hi, Rose. The only thing that comes out of me is the stuff I've been listening to. And the stuff I've been listening to is the stuff I'm mixing. And so, which is why I think a lot of music bites its own tail, because it's made by people who listen to that kind of music. Whereas I know, working with Stelios on many projects, we did Lolo Zouai together. That's like trap influenced, no longer, but it was trap influenced at the time with some R&B elements. Then we did Stelios' record with Pip. It's called Bloom. It's Nirvana meets, I don't know, Stelios. And then we did the Cruel Youth record, which is like Peggy Lee and a trap record together. And then, so there's always different stuff coming in all the stuff that he does, because I know he listens to a lot of music, all sorts of different kinds of music, and so does his writing partner Pip, knows a lot of music. And I think that's the key for everyone to not get stuck, is have a big library. It's like language, right? If you know 2,000 words, you're going to say the same thing over and over again. If you know 10,000 words, then you're able to just grow and have a more eloquent speech. And that's the same thing with music production. So the more music you know and you have in your head and in your body, the more it's going to come for you when you need ideas.
Right. And then kind of jumping off that a little bit, I sometimes find that I do keep up with what's being put out in some way, whether it's, I go on YouTube and there's a recommended song and I go listen to it. It's something that just came out. But if I'm trying to make like a new like hip hop song or a new like folk dance song or whatever, like my instinct will be to avoid hearing what is out right now that's doing that. And I am maybe more likely to call upon like older references that are seemingly less relevant, because sometimes it can be like that's when a reference can put you in a box, is when you get caught up chasing what's currently out there.
Yeah.
And that's just how you date yourself.
Yeah, especially since what's out there is at least 6 months to a year old.
Right.
Because it was, it took forever to make, and so you're basically mimicking the past. If you want to know what's the future is happening, you need to come to Flux. And then that's the music that's being made. The music you guys are going to hear 6 months from now is being made right now. The time to release is much shorter. Like Alone With You came out today, right? The new Lolo song. And I can tell you that I finished the mix. I can look here. I finished the mix. Singles. Alone With You. The version that was considered done. Fab mix, bounces. The last mix was version 1.8. No, that's the clean. 1.8. April 6th. And Joe Laporta mastered it. So that was the recall. There was a recall. The first version, Joe mastered April 4th. And then the master brought out some noise in the vocal. So I recalled it April 6th. Today is May 15th. So Joe probably mastered it the week after. So we're talking exactly 30 days between the track being completely finished and the track being released with a video on YouTube. Pretty good. It used to be, still, there's some records that like the Susanna Baca record I did in 2018, still not out. It's not going to change the course of modern music. That's not what people are going to copy, but it's a beautiful record. It's just sometimes it takes forever. In our realm, in the pop music realm that we tackle with Stelios when we work as a team, it's becoming faster and faster.
Yeah.
The longest is the video.
Yeah.
So it's a lot longer to get the video properly color corrected and the pictures right than to make the music. So we had a crossroads here. We talked philosophy, which I think is the most interesting thing. But we've been here for 2 hours and 15 minutes. So I'm going to make an executive decision, and I'm going to say that I'm not going to mix this now. But what we could do is we could add a show where I would take the session and I will mix it, and I will announce when that show is going to be.
Cool.
Probably later this month. I have an idea when it can be, actually. And there will be a mixing show, and maybe you can come on, or maybe you'll have done a couple things in the meantime. And then I have to book it on the schedule, but we will call it something very intelligent that you guys can recognize. This exclamation is the follow-up to Stelios Phili's production, exclamation, or something like that. And maybe Stelios can come on and comment on my mix.
Yeah.
And I'll do the mix live. And maybe I'll try and mix it in Ableton just to see how it feels.
Yeah.
We tried once, right?
Yeah.
I was on the Lolo record.
Yeah. Did you say it was not possible though? And you
No, I couldn't make it go.
Okay.
I got upset halfway through. I love writing and making sounds and everything, but the gain stage in Ableton freaks me out. So maybe what we could do, this is what we could do. If you have the time, and if you need to give your time to these wonderful people, all these amazing amounts of people who are watching, is maybe we could start we're just going to say we're going to do intro until the second verse. And then you would show the export process. Then I would import the stems and then mix it. That would be pretty rad.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable doing that.
Yeah. Wait, so you said I'm going to second verse right now?
No. Right now we're going to wrap because we got to go back. But, so that when we come back in a couple of weeks, if you have a second if you want to add layers, you can. If not, we'll start the show by you exporting your stems.
Okay.
And then I will import the stems into Luna or into Pro Tools, and then I will mix it live on camera.
Cool.
All right.
Maybe before we go, do you want to listen back and just?
Yeah.
I'll play what we have, and then we can talk about what we're going to add.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Hold on. Okay, one more time.
I still hear violins, still taste the tonic and the gin. I still see colours where the Kodachrome has thinned. Where does that time go?
So Leighton, give me 1 sec. Let me change the...
Your limiter is unhappy. Why don't you remove the limiter?
Okay.
Somebody loved your Valhalla trick to create a pad.
Yay.
Something's cutting every 2 seconds. Usually it's an unhappy plugin. We don't hear, the sound is gone from listen to.
Oh, I turned off listen to.
It works better on. Hi.
Colette, come here. Come here.
Everybody, you have to meet Colette.
Hey, Rose, can you bring Colette over?
I still hear violins, still taste the tonic and the gin. I still see colours where the Kodachrome has thinned. Where does that time go? Where did that fire go from your eyes? I replay memories, merry-go memories, stuck in time. I dance with your ghost, an echo in my eyes holds on and let's go. Play, pause, rewind, I dance with your ghost.
Cool. So here's where we're at. It's pretty decent for 2 hours of work just to get the
vibe is great.
Thanks.
I love the soft cell little thing, and I love the pad, that pad.
Yes.
So I dig it.
In terms of where we go from here, I'm gonna do the same thing where I did my reverse pad guitar technique and put that in the pre and in the chorus as well. And then after that, I'm gonna work on a transition into the pre-chorus, work on a proper transition to the chorus, maybe add one other drum element into the chorus. And then I also have an idea to add like a high-end something. Yeah. Something like doing a little melody on the top.
So make sure you keep track of the stuff you add from this point on. So at the beginning of the show, we can show these people what you've done. Cool. And also so that the people who haven't seen this show can know where we started, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yep.
Well, man, thank you so much. Thank you. It's very kind of you to take the time, and this is a very difficult exercise, and it's not everyone can pull this off so easily. So thank you very much. I'll talk to you later because there's something I need to discuss with you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We will be back to finish this as a part 2 in a couple of weeks. I got to find open slots because we have shows booked every day. And that's it. That's it for us today. We're going to cancel the show. We're going to end the podcast, that is. And see you Monday for another edition of Andrew Sheps Talks to Awesome People. And I don't really know who he's going to talk to, but I'm sure it's going to be somebody great. Okay. Ciao, guys. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Ciao, Stelios. Thank you.
Thank you.